ideas about how we can choose a just right book.
I did
So,
that yesterday.
I said earlier. So, what are some things that we can do when choosing a just right book? And we also talked a little bit about this, I guess it was yesterday. What can we do when we get a book? How are we going to decide if it's a just right book? Delilah?
We're going to see if that's the kind of book you want, but if you can't read it, just put your fingers on.
Okay, so first we have to decide if it's a book that we're interested in, right? If it's a topic or a type of book that we like to read. So we can read, we want to decide if, I'm going to say the topic interests us. Alright. I'm going to hold off for a second. You said something about putting your fingers up. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So before the 5-finger rule, what are some other things that we can do to choose a just right book? Dwayne?
You need to make sure that it's not too hard by checking if it's your kind of age book to make sure it's not too big like a third or fifth or sixth.
Okay, right. We want to make sure it's not too hard book, and we're going to talk about that with that 5-finger rule. But before, say you pick up a book. What's the first thing that you're going to do to decide if it's a book that you want to read, if it's a just right book? Taylor?
You're gonna look through the pages and see if it is a just right book.
Yeah, we can take a, what, when we just look at the pictures?
Picture walk.
Take a picture walk to see if it's something that we're interested in. So, we want to take a picture walk to make sure that that is a book that you're going to like to read. All right? What else are we going to do? Natalie, thank you for raising your hand.
Smiley face.
Excuse me, that's what you have.
Don't read someone's book otherwise they will get dirty.
That's right. That's what we talked about the other day when we're taking care of our books. What do we read first? Quentin, remember we talked about this yesterday. Have a seat. John, I'm teaching. Christina? Yeah. We got to check out the title and maybe look at the back of the book. We talked about yesterday, I think, remember when sometimes the books, they have a little summary or a little blurb on the back that we can read to see if that's something that's interesting to us, that it might be a book that we would like to read. So we want to take a look at the front cover and read the title. We could read the summary on the back, if it has one. Okay. One of the other things that we can do, and I know Ms. Williman has said we're going to do this, but Robert Munsch, remember how Ms. Williman talked about he's one of her favorite authors, and he writes really funny books, and she loves to read. I think I've read like all of his books. So one of the other ways we can choose a just right book, we can look at the author. And if we really like an author, we can read and choose books by that same author. So we can look at the author and choose their books. Okay. Raise your hand if you like the Magic School Bus books.
Me.
Hands down. Raise your hand if you like the Junie B. Jones books. Okay, a couple people. Raise your hand if you like the Magic Schoolhouse book or Magic Treehouse books. Okay, those books are what we call a series of books because they have the same characters in all the books. So if we know we like a Magic Schoolhouse book or we like a Junie B. Jones book, we know that we like that series. So we can choose a book in a series that we like. finger rule. Okay, so our 5-finger rule is a good way for us to choose a Just Right book. Okay, when you do the 5-finger rule, just like Goldilocks said, what did she say? She turned to a page in the book. Then what did she do? Christian, what did she do first? Remember? She did the 5-finger rule. She put up a fist. Everybody put up a fist. Okay? And she started to read the pages. And every time she came to a word she didn't know, she put up a what? A finger. So if she was reading, when it was too hard, she put up all 5 fingers. And remember, she tried to read the easy book. And then she only put up 1 finger. So she knew it was too easy. And then when you get to your Just Right book, you're going to put up maybe 2 or 3 fingers. So to choose a Just Right book, we can use the 5-finger rule. Okay, class. Yes. Christian, you need to go ahead and sit up. Let's remember our SOPs right here. We should be at a level what when Ms. Williman is talking?
0.
A level 0. So I need you all to continue to be at a level 0. Okay, I know this is an exciting day because you guys are going to get to go choose your own books. We have to know how to choose the Just Right books so that we can go do it on our own. Okay, so our 5-finger rule. 0 to 1 fingers is what? If I hold it 0 to 1 fingers, that means my book is easy. Okay, 2 to 3 fingers means my book is what? Michael? 2 to 3 fingers is in the middle, so it's going to be just right. And then 4 to 5 fingers. Oh, I'm going to get used to a tall board. Is what, Justasia? Is a hard, what we call it, challenging book. It's okay to read a challenging book every once in a while, because that can help us get better. So we call it challenging. Okay, so our 5-finger rule. Start with a fist, and every time you come to a word that you don't know how to read, or you don't know what it means, you put up a what, Corbin? A finger. Okay? So, when I say teach, I want you to teach your partner what the 5-finger rule is. Wayne, when I say teach, what are you going to teach?
You're going to teach your partner what the 5-finger rule is.
Good. Frank, when I say teach, what are you going to teach?
Alma!
We're good? All right, when I say teach, you're going to teach your partner the 5-finger rule. Teach.
Okay. What is 5-finger rule? 5-finger rule is you put a 5 that means you're in every part of the 5 you put a 0 it's just right. One of
Natalie and Christian. Natalie, teach Christian about the 5-finger rule. Christian. Natalie, you're listening.
If it's too high, your fingers should
So, Andre, can you turn to him and look at him and teach him so you know what you're supposed to be doing? finger rule. That's one of the ways that we can choose a just right book. That's a pretty easy way that we can decide if a book is going to be easy for us, challenging for us, or just right for us. And eventually, when we get, after all of you are done meeting with Miss Porter, she's going to give you a, good morning. Thank you. When she's all done, when you're all done reading with her, she's going to give you your Fontes and Pinnell level, which will be a letter. And that'll also help you decide if it's a just right book, because some of the books in our library, remember what I showed you the other day when we explored the library a little bit? It has a little letter on the back, so you can match your letters to see if you're also choosing a just right book. So when we get to that part in our year, we'll put that up here as just right strategies. Okay? So during independent reading time today, I'm going to call like 3 or 4 or 5 of you, depending how many we can fit back there, to come choose your books at a time, okay? So you're going to bring your baskets and you're going to go explore the library and choose your own books following these strategies, okay? So if you've not read a book, you can just open it up, do the 5-finger rule, decide if the topic interests you, look at the summary on the back. Think about if there's an author you really like. Miss Williman can try to help you find a book back there, so I'm going to be back there helping you until we all get our books. So remember, we're not going to we added staying in our spot to our SOPs from yesterday, so we don't disturb others, and we're reading the whole time. We're not trying to get up out of our seats and move back and forth. So that means right now, no read aloud books, Jonathan, until Miss Williman figures out a better system so that we're not constantly getting up and interrupting and wasting any of our reading time. Okay? So, go back to your seats when I dismiss you. When I dismiss you, you're going to read from the baskets in your book on your table, and I'm going to call you by groups to go back and start choosing your own books. Quentin, can you tell me what we're going to do? Go back to your seats. And read from your what?
Book.
The book baskets, and then Miss Williman's going to choose people to do what?
Come back there and choose in a group.
Go in groups to go back and choose your own books. All right, back row.